Hey everyone, today I wanted to bring you guys something a little bit different that I've yet to see anyone else cover at this point in time of me recording this video. And that's the fact that Capcom has started out to send out those golden Monster Hunter Rise Amiibos that they had up for raffle a few months back. So if for some reason you actually missed it, Capcom Japan held several events on their official Monster Hunter Rise Twitter account leading up to the launch of Monster Hunter Rise that mainly involved gauging fan interest and getting some free retweets. The first of these giveaways was for a golden Magnum Aloe amiibo when the second demo officially dropped. At the time, all they were asking fans to do was to reply using a specific hashtag and give your feedback on the Magnum Aloe fight itself, to see if it was too tough, if it was too easy, or anything in between. Only 3 winners of these golden Magnum Aloe amiibos would ever end up being chosen at that given time. Right after that giveaway, they held another one, and this time was for a golden PALICO and a golden PALAMUTE set of amiibos that yet another only 3 sets of winners would be able to win these pair. This time the official Monster Hunter Rise Twitter Japanese account was asking users for their expectations heading into the release of the game and not necessarily gauging feedback on the demo anymore, but basically what were you looking forward to the most. At the same time, they also revealed a separate pair of 3 sets of winners would be lucky enough to win just 1 golden PALICO amiibo if they had any sort of interactions with the official Monster Hunter Rise official Twitter Japanese account, be it retweets, mentions, likes, replies, or anything like that. So basically, if you had any sort of interactions with their official Twitter account to begin with, you would be in the running to just be able to win 1 golden PALICO. Now, interestingly enough, the next giveaway that they held was actually the big one. This giveaway was revealed in their official Japanese Twitter account in conjunction with 7-Eleven in Japan. Any person who decided to purchase the downloadable card in 7-Eleven, aka a digital copy of Monster Hunter Rise, in any of these participating 7-Eleven stores in Japan would be automatically in the running for 711 sets of all 3 gold amiibos. That would include the golden Magnum Aloe, the golden PALAMUTE, and the golden PALICO. So in fact, this turned out to be probably the easiest way to get a hold of any of these extremely rare amiibos, since up until then, only 3 sets were ever handed out by Capcom directly via Twitter. For those completely unaware of what 7-Eleven is, it's basically a type of convenience store that's rather common here in North America. I'm not necessarily sure in Europe, but in Japan it's actually a little bit different. They treat it a little bit more like a supermarket type of thing that also sells higher quality type items. Where here in America, it's a little bit of a joke to go in there and actually try to buy direct food from them. In Japan, it's treated like a, not necessarily a high course type of place, but it's definitely like higher quality than what we're typically used to seeing in the West. Not only that, but they also sell like digital items as well with digital cards. So this is how you were actually able to participate to be able to purchase one of the digital codes for the game and be in the running to be one of the winners. It's safe to say that all of these amiibos were not only rare but also extremely hard to come by and purely based on luck. And it's not the first time Capcom has done this in the past. Up until now, Monster Hunter Stories for the 3DS also received some gold and silver commemorative amiibos for a championship event that they held. So Capcom is well within the usual means when it comes to handing out these type of rare amiibos that usually are an alternative version to the one that they typically would put out available for everyone to be able to purchase. Remember that the 3 amiibos, the Magnum Aloe, the PALAMUTE, and the PALICO, were readily available at the very least for a limited time at GameStop here in North America, I believe EB Games in Canada, and Game UK in Europe. So I'm not necessarily sure if in Japan they only made them available to Amazon, which I know had them in Japan, or other stores. But typically these game adjacent amiibos are made rather common to find, obviously unless you're doing these type of really rare giveaways. Now the funny thing is that there's even rarer amiibos that Capcom gave away for Monster Hunter Rise. And that is the 1 set of silver amiibos that were given away during the Subara Honda livestream back on March 20th. Basically, anyone who participated in that livestream and tweeted out about it was automatically in the running for easily the hardest set to find of amiibos Capcom decided to give out specifically for this game. I've actually tried to see who's the real winner to see if I can get in touch with them to show these amiibos off to you guys, but sadly to no avail. I've yet to discover who's actually the real winner, which is a bit of a bummer because If we never actually end up finding out who the winner is and Capcom doesn't put out actual pictures of it, we'll never be able to see anything other than the renders that they put out, which is definitely a bummer. I don't know if the winner actually ever put them out on social media and I missed it, or simply they just went quiet and they never basically announced to the world that they were the one winner. So there's definitely a set of silver amiibos out there that most likely we'll never be able to see. With that said, regarding the golden amiibos, I've actually had a little bit of better luck. Enter Ryu_Sugar Island on Twitter. Just a few days ago, he posted about winning a pair of these golden amiibos directly from Capcom during the giveaway, where the official Japanese Monster Hunter Rise Twitter account was asking for your expectations for the games and what you were looking forward to seeing the most. Ryu_Sugar Island was one of the lucky 3 pair of winners from the Capcom giveaway and just recently posted some pictures of his amiibos, which to my account was the very first time we actually got to see them directly. Up until now, like I mentioned, just like with the silver amiibos, all we ever had seen was the renders, which don't really do any of these amiibos any sort of justice because, man, they are gorgeous. I made sure to reach out to him directly and request a few extra pictures of them to get them in better light and show them off in style. And I'm extremely thankful to him because he went above and beyond, providing us with these great shots of these amiibos that up until now, I'll reiterate, we had not actually seen anywhere else. And I can't stress enough just how much of a bummer that actually is. The amiibo craze is something that hit just about all Nintendo fans at one point or another. And in Japan, there's been quite a slew of rare amiibos that us in the West, be it in Europe or North America, never got our chance to get our hands on. These golden amiibos and even the rarer silver amiibos from Monster Hunter Rise are living proof that just how these companies do these limited events in a region and everyone else is kind of left out. While I'm not directly an amiibo collector by any means, and I do own about a dozen or so of my favorite characters, I can't imagine how frustrating it must be for those dedicated collectors to know that there's limited items out there that not only exist, but they'll never be able to get one of them, not only because they couldn't afford them because they probably wouldn't necessarily want to give out the extremely high prices that these would require, but also because they were never given a chance to win any of them due to a random raffle. While it's great for winners to hold such limited item releases, it's definitely a bummer for everyone else who really wanted to get one. And while I don't necessarily want to sound like I'm complaining, my call is that I do hope going forward, companies like Nintendo, but also companies like Capcom, make it a bit easier to obtain these rather limited items, or at the very least, hold contests for these items outside of Japan, so we too in other places around the world have at the very least a 1 in a million chance to perhaps be able to get one of these. I know that a few weeks back, I posted about a limited time registration event that Capcom was holding regarding the in-game bonus set of awards for only 33,000 winners in Monster Hunter Rise that will give them both a code for themselves and a buddy for a couple of in-game items. When I made that video at the time, a lot of people in the comments were saying how it was kind of stupid for me to be able to cover Japanese giveaways since they were not necessarily living in Japan. But as it turns out, in subsequent videos there were several comments for winners of said giveaway reported that they'd have won some free goodies. Now mind you, that's just endgame items, which are neat nonetheless. But imagine if we in the West had a chance to win one of these 3 golden amiibos with our chance of purchase, like those lucky 7-Eleven winners in Japan. That would have been a nice bonus and a nice incentive to have, definitely for the lucky winners nonetheless. But that's gonna be it for this video, and I once again would like to give a huge shout out to Ryu_Sugar Island on Twitter for being so helpful with the images so we can at least have a look at some of these amiibos. I would love to ask you guys to go ahead and give him a follow, check out his Twitter account. He's posting some great images for in-game shots and stuff like that, so definitely huge shout out to him for being so helpful when I reached out to him on Twitter. And I'll remain on the hunt for the silver amiibo winner, and hopefully I can bring that to you guys in the near future if we're ever actually able to find them. And perhaps this is actually something that I can request your guys' help on if you're actually able to see any person post that they were the winners for the silver amiibos for Monster Hunter Rise, either on Twitter or any other social media page. Do hit me up on Twitter. My DMs are open. You can hit me up if you have any news about this, because again, I've been very actively looking for the winner to be able to just show off these amiibos, because again, I feel like people need to be able to see these things. They're extremely limited. The idea is if Capcom only ever made one pair, then only one person actually owns these, and it should be something that the world actually does get to see. If you're brand new to my channel, be sure to leave a like and subscribe, hit the bell to receive notifications when the videos go up, and as always, thank you so much for watching. See ya!